One ordinary schedule job can cost you over $500 in direct visible costs, and a missed job can cost you even more. Most owners never see the full number because the direct costs and the missed opportunities tend to get mixed together or ignored. When scheduling chaos starts to feel normal, the company tends to stop asking, what does this actually cost? Hello, my name is Will. I help lead operations in a growing plumbing company where we grew from 4 million to 40 million in just under 3 years. During that growth period, weak scheduling decisions became expensive much faster than most people expected. Today, I will show you how to calculate both layers using numbers you probably already have. If you cannot measure the loss, every bad week starts to look like a people problem. So let's get into it. Scheduling chaos starts when work changes faster than the company can prepare and complete it. A crew gets moved before the first job is finished. A technician crosses town because the route changed after the day began. Materials arrive at the job after the labor. The office promises a date before the work is actually ready. An emergency pushes one job forward and quietly pushes 3 others backwards. The payroll still runs while completed work slows down. That gap is the financial cost of chaos. Busy is an activity measurement. Finished is a financial measurement. This is not about charging every normal conversation to a failure account. Normal work has normal variation, and no schedule survives every surprise. We are measuring repeatable losses created by preventable decisions. The goal is a useful estimate, not a perfect courtroom exhibit. I measure the loss in 2 layers: direct visible cost and opportunity exposure. You probably already have most of the numbers in your payroll, dispatch, job costing, and in your calendar. Start with the 4 direct cost buckets. First, calculate labor cost. Multiply the people affected by the hours lost and the burdened hourly rate. Second, add the overtime premium caused by the disruption. Count the premium above regular pay, not the entire wage, a second time. Third, add extra trip and vehicle cost. Include supply runs, return visits, and unnecessary moves between jobs. Fourth, add rework and wasted material cost. Use only the labor and material that had to be repeated or replaced. Then calculate opportunity exposure separately. Use a simple probability-adjusted contribution margin or displaced capacity, not the full selling price. Total estimated impact equals direct visible cost plus supported opportunity exposure. Add the real cost once and do not make the same loss wear 2 name tags. The last rule matters because bad estimates can often place 1 hour of work in 3 separate buckets. If the crew waited and then worked overtime, the waiting and the overtime are separate costs. The regular wage inside the overtime hour is not another copy of the waiting hour. I built a free version of this calculator at substructure.com/tools, but first let's do the math on project and service work. Let's use a 4-person project crew. The crew arrives, waits for a decision, moves to another area, and comes back to the job another day. We will use a burden labor rate of $45 per hour. 4 people lose 1.5 hours each. That creates 6 lost labor hours. 6 hours times $45 equals $270 in lost labor cost. 2 extra vehicle trips at $35 each add $70. 2 overtime hours with a $22.50 premium add $45. Damaged or wasted material adds another $120. The direct visible cost is now $505. A delayed completion can also create opportunity exposure. In project work, that may include contribution margin from the next job that could not start. It may also include delayed billing or another crew waiting for work. Keep those estimates separate from the $505 until you can support them. Think of it this way: one unready start can cost more than the control that would have stopped it. Now multiply that by the number of times that happens in a month. 4 similar events cost $2,020 in direct visible cost before the opportunity exposure. The expensive part is rarely the single disaster that everyone remembers. It is unfortunately the ordinary failure that the company has learned to call normal. Service work creates the same cost, but with different scenery. 2 technicians are rerouted. One has to break away from the job for a supply run, and then the next appointment is lost. Again, we'll use the $45 burden rate. Here is the simple calculation. 2 technicians lose 45 minutes each to the reroute. That equals 1 1/2 lost labor hours. 1 1/2 hours times $45 equals $67.50. A 90-minute return visit adds another $67.50. The extra vehicle trip adds $25. The direct visible cost is $160. The missed appointment may also create opportunity exposure. Use contribution margin, not the full selling price of the missed job or upsell. Multiply the likely contribution margin by the historical probability that the opportunity was lost. So in other words, if the missed appointment would contribute $400 with a 75% chance of closing, the opportunity exposure is $300. Add the $160 direct cost, and the total estimated impact is $460. Keep direct cost and the opportunity exposure on separate lines so that the estimate stays credible. So here's the part I want you to think about. A properly stocked truck or the right delivery driver might have prevented most of the return costs. Your highest skilled technician should not be your highest cost delivery driver. So with that, don't try to rebuild the last 12 months all in one sitting. Start with 1 week while the details are still fresh in your mind. Use one line for any meaningful disruption to the schedule. Capture these 11 data points. Record the date and job. Record whether the work was service, project, install, or support work. Record what changed and why. Record the number of people affected. Record the hours lost per person. Record the burdened labor rate. Record overtime premium, extra trips, and rework cost. Record delay exposure separately. Record the root cause, not the person you want to blame. Record the control that could prevent the same event. At the end of the week, total the cost by cause, not by employee. The largest cause is the first place to focus. Trust me, you do not need 12 projects. You need one good place to focus. If missing information caused the most loss, start with the information gate. If material movement caused the most loss, fix stocking, kitting, or delivery support. If priority changes cause the most loss, protect a short, frozen, scheduled window. And remember, the dollar amount should improve decisions, not decorate some report. So I want you to use these 6 rules. Use real payroll and operating rates when they're available. Label estimates clearly when the exact number is not available. Separate direct cost from delay exposure and missed opportunity. Do not count the same hour or sell twice. Fix the biggest repeatable cause before chasing small exceptions. Compare the cost of the failure with the cost of the control. So I want you to think about this. A $200 delivery improvement or better stocking system can be a bargain in comparison to $2,000 in skilled labor loss. A simple 10-minute readiness check can prevent a 4-man crew from sitting around and waiting. The numbers make the trade-off visible. Remember, scheduling chaos is expensive because it already consumes labor that the company has already paid for. That is why substructure separates planning from protected release and makes blockers visible before work is promised. You can use the free scheduling chaos cost calculator at substructure.com/tools to run these numbers on your own company. Start simple. Track 1 week. Total the cost by cause, then fix that cause and only that cause. Let's just start with that one. In the next video, we'll look at why the owner is often the real bottleneck for the company. Subscribe for free. if you want simple operating systems for busy trade companies. And please invite other owners who think schedule changes are free.